Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name of course is Resonant and welcome to a video on Parthian Empire War. Now this game was released on the 24th of October, so it's a very recent free-to-play game. If you haven't checked it out already, go and pick it up. It's completely free on Steam. There'll be a link in the description below. There'll also be multiple videos on Parthian Empire War on my channel, and there's going to be a lot more to come. So, why am I doing a post-process commentary on this? Why am I not showing you more live gameplay? Well, many people ask me to keep you guys up to date with this, and there's a big update coming out. I wouldn't normally do this for the little updates, but this is a pretty big update, and we don't completely know when this is going to happen, and they're probably not all going to be in the same update, but something that we can really look forward to in this game. At the moment, we have the Han Dynasty in Parthian Empire War. This is a Chinese faction with all the cool period armor and weapons. With your swords, you could chop down enemies off their horses, and your bows to shoot people on the palisades of a fort. But this is not just going to be the Chinese dynasties. This is not just going to be the Han Dynasty. They're adding in more new factions, which I'm extremely excited about. And of course, I don't know too much about the Chinese dynasties, as you probably know by my first video. But they're adding things in that I do know stuff about, and that's why I am so excited for this, because this is my speciality. I will save the best one, in my opinion, till last, but let's go through the new factions they are adding in. First, we have the Kushan Empire. Now, the Kushan Empire, you could sort of call them the Indian Empire, sort of like that. They're around that area of the world, and I'm pretty excited to this. I don't know too much about the Kushan Empire, that's why I'm putting them first, but seeing new things of this time period that go with the Kushan Empire and into Parthian Empire, what is really exciting. What can they add in? What new weapons that we haven't seen before, and what new armors that we are excited to see. So this is all around the same time as the Han Dynasty, as we know, but the Kushan Empire was a pretty big power back then. A lot of stuff such as philosophy, art and science came from the Kushan Empire. And what are they going to implement this into the game if they do at all? Will the Kushan Empire be less on the military side, and will it be more diplomatic side? I'm very excited to see what they can add in with the Kushan Empire. It was around the area of Bactria, which is quite a well-known place, so some of you may know a bit about the Kushan Empire. But let's move on to the next faction. I'm very excited for this one. Tell me down below what you know about the Kushan Empire and what you are most looking forward to about them. The next faction that they have announced that will be added in at some point is the Parthian Empire. Now this is a very, very cool. If any of you, like me, have played games such as Rome Total War, the Parthians are a pretty big part of that. They're around the Middle East. They're known for their skirmish troops, their horse archers and light infantry and things like that. And I'm very excited to see what they're going to be adding into this. Will we see more in the horse archer department here? Because in the Han Empire, the Han Dynasty, sorry, that we've got so far, a lot of it is infantry. You can get cavalry, but there's a lot of spearmen, a lot of the sort of sword infantry, two-handed sword infantry, and things like that. I'm very excited to see what kind of things that they can add in with this Parthian Empire and what differences they'll have between the factions. Such as, will the Parthian Empire have lighter armor, but they have more horse archers, so they're more mobile? They can run away from battle and then come back in, do feints, and do circling attacks. And things like the Han Dynasty, we know, they have a bit more armor. They are pretty good with their infantry and spearmen, and of course their archers as well. Now, next we have the final one that they have announced that will be added in the future. Obviously, they might add in a few more things later on, maybe more factions, but you have to remember, balancing each faction is a lot of work. Obviously, most game companies can only do one faction at a time, so they have to balance it, they have to get it right, and then they have to work on the next faction to get it exactly as they did with the first one, so we don't have overpowering factions. And that's what I'm really interested to see, the differences that they add in between the factions. Now, the final faction that they are added in, I've said faction too much now, is the Roman Empire. Yes, you probably saw that by the title, and I'm very excited for this to be added in. Many of you know that Romans Probably my favourite time period, along with the 13th to 15th century medieval warfare. But the Romans, the way they fight, the armour they use, the weapons they use, were so beyond their time that it's so interesting to play as them and to see all the new things that can be added in. One problem with them adding in Romans though, will they be able to work out balancing? Because obviously the Romans had a massive empire. They were a very elite army. They were ahead of their time. Hopefully they can balance that out in this game, and I'm sure they will, definitely. But something else I wanted to think about was, what changes, what differences can we have between the 4 factions that have been announced so far? Obviously we know the Romans, heavy armour, tight formations, good tactics, and working together. They have their big scutum shields that can block pretty much any arrows, and they have good artillery and equipment to fight by their side. They had scorpions, they had ballistas, and they had catapults. This is going to be a very good faction to play as. I'm really excited to see the armor texture. Fighting alongside your fellow Romans is going to be absolutely epic. Can we do different formations with them? Can we get them in the shield wall? Maybe even testudo. That would look pretty cool, but obviously that was only really used for sieging forts. But how will that compare to the other factions? Obviously I've said Parthia. They are lighter armed. They have an emphasis on their skirmish troops. Back in the time of the Romans and the Parthians, the Romans had a lot of difficulty sorting out the Parthians because they would just run around the Roman formations, shooting their bows from horseback, and the Romans just couldn't really catch up with them. And this will be really interesting to see in game form. The bit I'm most looking forward to is the types of tactics we can use. Like I said, shield wall with the Romans, maybe Cantabrian circles with the Parthians, or retreat tactics where they go in, they pull back and shoot as they run away, and then they loop around and do the same until they pick off all the enemy infantry. And obviously we have the Kushan Empire. What kind of new things can we see from them? Will they have heavy armor? Will they have lighter armor? Like I said, I don't know too much about them, but I'd love to see your comments down below, because I'm sure there are many of you that know a lot about the Indian Empire back then. So what are you most looking forward to? I'd really love to see your suggestions down below. And like I said, how are you enjoying the game so far? Obviously we only have the Han Dynasty so far, but I'm still really enjoying it. I've been leveling up a lot, been recording a lot of videos for you guys, and there are some new game modes coming soon as well. I'll have to cover them when they are released. Something that I have found out so far, leveling up is a lot of fun, and it can happen pretty easily, but getting new armor, new weapons seems to be very slow for me. I don't know if I'm just doing it wrong, but other than that, I'm loving this game so far. I'm very excited to see the new factions that they're adding in. I'm very excited to see future updates, and I will keep you updated as the game progresses. Remember to leave your comments down below. What do you know about the Kushan Empire, the Han Dynasty, who are the Chinese? Yes, I'm gonna reinforce it. I'm just gonna keep reinforcing it until people forgive me for what I did in the first video. Obviously, we have the Parthians as well, and we have the Romans. What are your favourite things about each of them? What do you know about them, and what things are you most looking forward to them adding in? Do you have any speculations? And I would love to hear them down below. But other than that, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I am still very ill, and I'm really pushing to sound as happy as possible in this video. I think I'm going to have to go and have a lie down after this. But thank you guys for the support over the past few weeks. It has been amazing. I'm really looking forward to the release of new games coming out and keeping you updated on older games such as Mount & Blade Warband and games that have just been released like Tiger Knight Empire War. But other than that, like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if you didn't. Remember to leave the comments down below and subscribe to the channel to support it a lot. Other than that, guys, I will see you in the next one.